What's up, everybody? Welcome back, Chaptown Charlie, coming at you to do my favorite team in the SEC's 2025 schedule prediction. I was going to do them in alphabetical order, but I couldn't hold out anymore. I had to get my favorite team in. The Tennessee Volunteers. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! And see how they're going to do this year. Tennessee had some noteworthy things happen during the offseason. They lost their quarterback, Nico. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. I don't do any good with it. But Nico transferred out over NIL dispute, went to the UCLA, and we ended up basically doing a swap. We got their quarterback, Joey Aguilar. He come to Tennessee. A lot of people's been doubting my Tennessee Vols this year because of that. And they made the playoffs last year, had a good defense last year. And I think they made the playoffs last year despite Nico. Nico was average last year. He didn't set the world on fire. And I think we can still be pretty decent this year. Will we make the playoffs? I don't know. We're going to do a little prediction here, and we'll see if I have them making the playoffs or not. Tennessee opens up the season against Syracuse in Atlanta on August the 30th. Syracuse won 10 games last year. They kept Miami out of the ACC championship game, and Syracuse is a good opponent. It's going to be a good game. We're still having a quarterback competition down at Tennessee. I think Joey Aguilar is going to be the starter based on his experience. He has 2 years' experience at Appy State. He needs to get the turnovers down. He threw a lot of turnovers. And not as much in his first season at Appy State, but in his second season, he threw, I think it was 21 interceptions. And you just can't do that. I mean, you cannot do that. You can't win games that way. So hopefully they can work on him with that. But I do think he'll be our starter. And I think he can put up every bit as good as numbers as Nico did last year. That's just my opinion. Well, let's get to the prediction. Let's see how they're going to do this year. Like I said, they open up with Syracuse. I think that's going to be a good game. I'm interested to see who the starter is, if I'm right, if it's Joey, who they go with. They got two other capable quarterbacks. I've got Tennessee beating Syracuse. I think it will be a good close game. I think it'll be a good test for us to see how good the quarterback looks, how we look, and I think that's a good game for us to start the season instead of playing somebody, a non-power 4 team and getting some serious competition out the gate. I think is good for us. It'll be very beneficial for us. So I think we beat Syracuse. The following week, September the 6th, we play ETSU. I think that's a name your score type game. They might even put in the backup and let him get some play, see how he looks in live game. Maybe even get the third string quarterback in because I think they can score as many as they want on ETSU. The following week, they play Georgia at home September the 13th. My girlfriend's a huge Georgia fan. We always pick at each other about it, especially that game when that game comes along. And we haven't beat Georgia since 2016, the Hail Mary in Athens. And as so far, Heupel hadn't been able to break the code and beat Kirby Smart. Unfortunately, I would love for us to beat Georgia. I'd be happy. I'd be so happy. My girlfriend wouldn't be happy, but I would be happy. I don't think we do. I think we lose to Georgia and take our first loss. I do think we're competitive. We were competitive with them last year down in Athens until basically the fourth quarter. They pulled away and ended up beating us by 2 touchdowns. But it was a very competitive game up to the fourth quarter. Me and her actually went down to the 2022 game in Athens, and that game was hyped up. They had us ranked number 1 in the college football poll, and I think Georgia was number 1 in the AP or something like that, and everybody was upset that we shouldn't have been number 1. And I went down there, and you talk about a hostile environment. It was. They brought it, and we lost. And every year the Heupel's been there, we hadn't been able to beat Georgia. Unfortunately, I think that continues, and we lose to Georgia for our first loss. September the 20th, we got UAB, a good program. They're not a bad program at all. I don't think Tennessee should lose to teams like UAB, and I don't think they will. I think they'll win that game. September 27th, we play at Mississippi State. And although I think Mississippi State is the worst team in the SEC right now, I think that's kind of a trap game for us, or could be a trap game for us. I do think we'll win that game, but I hope we don't overlook Mississippi State and we go down there and play like we're capable of playing. I think we will, and I think we will get the win there at Mississippi State. October the 4th, we get a bye week. And then Arkansas comes to town on October 11th. Last year, Arkansas upset us at their place and gave us a loss that I wasn't expecting. I think most Tennessee fans wasn't expecting to lose to Arkansas, and we did. I think we get revenge. I think we beat Arkansas, and we've only got the one loss. The following week, my favorite game every year, the third Saturday in October. I've got a ton of family that's Alabama fans. A lot of my family's from Alabama. I was born and raised in Tennessee, and I've been a Tennessee fan all my life. But I got a lot of Alabama family and friends, and we always get hyped up for that game. It was not really competitive there for a good long period of time, and I hated that. But hype will come. We beat them in 22, lost to them in 23. We beat them at home last year in 24. I think this will be a good game. I've already done my Alabama prediction video. I do think that we lose to Alabama in the third Saturday in October. I call it the cigar game. Unfortunately, I would love to beat them in Tuscaloosa. I don't think we've won in Tuscaloosa since, I think, 2006 or 7. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think it's 2006 or 7. I would love to beat them there. I don't think we will, unfortunately. So I got us losing the third Saturday in October. The following week, we play at Kentucky. We've owned Kentucky. Kentucky wants to beat us, and they have beat us a time or two. And I don't think Kentucky's going to be that good this year. I think Mark Stoops is on his way out. I don't think he'll be fired. I think he'll resign or be, graciously let go where it won't look bad on him. And I think he'll go off and do other things or go into retirement or whatever. But I do think we beat Kentucky, and we're still sitting on we're sitting at 2 losses to Georgia and Alabama at that later part of the year. After Kentucky, we play Oklahoma November the 1st at home. Last year we played Oklahoma at Oklahoma, and they made Josh Heupel coming back home. He was the quarterback there, won the national championship there, and we beat Oklahoma basically based off a lot of it was our defense. I do think Tennessee's going to have a good defense this year. I don't think the offense will be bad. I want to see it, to see what our quarterback play looks like, see what our young wide receivers look like. I've got us beating Oklahoma. I've heard a lot of people, say that we're going to lose to Oklahoma, but I think we'll beat Oklahoma. I really do. And we're still just sitting at the 2 losses. November the 8th, we get our bye week, and then November the 15th, we play New Mexico State at home. We play New Mexico State at home. I'm planning on trying to go to that game, and as far as I know, I'm going to get to. I'll be at that game, but as long as nothing don't happen. I think we beat New Mexico State, and we're still just sitting at the 2 losses. Coming up the next week is a big game. We got to play them Florida Gators, who's unfortunately owned us. We play them in Gainesville, and I think Florida is going to be a whole lot better than they were last year. Last year they come on strong at the end of the year. They end up finishing 8-5. A lot of people would say Billy Napier is going to be fired, and that kind of saved his job. He beat, I believe, LSU last year, saved his job. He beat Ole Miss. They won some games that nobody thought they would win. They finished 8-5. Unfortunately, as much as I want to beat Florida, I don't think we beat Florida in Gainesville. We beat them. We seem to be able to beat them at home now. It's kind of like the Alabama story. We're able to beat Alabama here lately at home, but I don't think we can beat Alabama on the road. I don't think we can beat Florida on the road. So I got that as a loss. That's our 3rd loss. Last game of the year, we play Vanderbilt, and old Smooth talking Pavia. Talk about they're going to run the state of Tennessee. He's talking stuff about what they're going to do to Alabama and all that stuff. I think Vanderbilt's in for a lot of beatdowns this year, and the last game of the year for us is going to be one of those. We are going to beat Vanderbilt, and we're going to finish the year 9-3. Do we have a chance to get in the playoffs at 9-3? I don't know. That would depend on what the other teams do and how strong our strength of schedule is. Our losses will be to Alabama, who I think is a playoff team, Georgia, who I think is a playoff team, and Florida, who I think will be much improved. Maybe even, I mean, I've heard people say they might be a potential playoff team. I don't know. But our losses don't look that bad. I think we'll finish 9-3. I don't think we're going to fall off a cliff or have a terrible season just because Nico decided to transfer over NIL dispute. So the Vols ain't going nowhere. We're going to be just fine. And I think we're going to have a decent year. It's not going to be as good a year as we had last year. We won 10 games in the regular season, made the playoffs. We might not make the playoffs at 9-3, but I mean, I think there's a chance. It just depends on what the other teams look like. I think it's very possible a 9-3 team could get into the 12-team playoff, just depending on how everything else shook out. But the Vols are not falling off a cliff. They're not losing 5 games, as I've heard. One of the Alabama websites was bold prediction was we're losing 5 games. I don't see it. I think 9-3 is probably. I think 10-2 is the ceiling, 8-4 is the floor, and I'm in the middle at 9-3. So I know a lot of the people who hate Tennessee would love to see us fall off a cliff. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Josh Heupel's too good of a coach, and I think we got too much talent there. And the schedule is very manageable. So 9-3, I think, is what we go this year. But you're welcome to put your comments in there if you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm just a Tennessee homer, which Tennessee is my favorite team. I don't try to hide that. I do like SEC football. I got SEC stuff in here from a lot of teams, and I follow all of it. But Tennessee is my favorite team, but I'm honest about it. I think they go 9-3. Would I like to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa? Yes, would love it. Would I like to beat Georgia at home? Yes, I'd love it. Maybe even a little bit more than beating Alabama since we haven't beat them since 2016. Do I think it'll happen? That's my honest prediction. I don't think it'll happen. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I've been trying to pump out some content. The college football season is rapidly approaching. I'll try to get to some more prediction videos. But y'all please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications when I put out a video. Share it out to your friends if you have friends who are SEC fans, Tennessee fans, friends who like to fish, friends who like the great outdoors. I do that kind of stuff too here on my channel. We've been getting a lot of rain here. I ain't been able to fish, and I thought it'd be a good time to get my football content started up. I've done a few football videos, I think last year or the year before. They didn't seem to be very, very popular. I'm hoping this year they do a lot better than they did previous years. But appreciate y'all watching. Go Big Orange, and I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you. Chattown Charlie signing out.